Ciao everyone, it's Alyssa coming at you with another slow fashion video. This week, diving right into it. What is slow fashion? I can't believe it's been almost 2 years that I've had this channel and I don't think I've ever actually answered that question. So I'm gonna do that and then I'm gonna talk about the mistakes that I've made on my slow fashion journey and how you can avoid them, because let's be real, nobody's perfect. Whether you are beginning your conscious consumer journey or whether you're an absolute pro, I think we can all always be learning something. So I'm gonna spill the tea on myself. I don't even know if you can say that, if you can. Anyway, before we jump in, for those of you who are new, welcome. Every week I talk about slow fashion with a heavy focus on the principles of minimalism. So using and loving what you already have and making smart shopping decisions so that you can create a closet full of pieces that you actually love and wear. So if that sounds like your jam, hit subscribe below. I post every Sunday. And for those of you who are coming back, big hello and welcome back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Let's jump in. If you were to Google slow fashion on the internet, a common definition that you would find is that slow fashion is the reaction to fast fashion. So it means buying less but better, higher quality pieces and smaller closets, and also consuming your clothes a lot slower. You might also read that slow fashion has a focus on paying workers ethically and making products that will last, whether it's from a construction perspective or a design perspective. In my opinion, I think slow fashion is definitely a mindset switch. For me, slow fashion is literally changing your thought process so that at every step of how you dress, how you shop, and how you discard clothing, you're being more mindful and intentional. So for example, just the way that I interact with my closet on a daily basis. How creative am I with it? How versatile are my pieces? And then if I realize that I have a gap, the research that I put into searching for a new product that I need. And then once I bring the product home and make a purchase, slow fashion still plays a role. It's about how do I care and maintain for the product? Do I treat it nicely, you know? Like a friend. And finally, when it comes to discarding the product or the garment, what do I do with it? How do I dispose of it intentionally? What I do think is important to mention also is that slow fashion is often used in the same sphere and space as ethical fashion and minimalism and eco fashion and all these other lovely terms. And while they definitely belong together, I really do think slow fashion is, again, like I said, it's a little bit more intangible. It's more of a mindset shift. For example, hang on. You could buy a pair of ethically made pants made out of recycled materials in a fair trade factory. But to me, slow fashion isn't necessarily just about buying the eco-friendly pants. It's about really thinking about, okay, do I need them? How will I wear them? Do they suit me? Will they actually work for me? Because yes, those pants might be ethical and eco-friendly, but if you take them home only for them to sit in your closet and you to realize that you don't need them and that you just discard them within a year, that's not necessarily slow fashion. So I hope those examples helped explain, at least from my perspective, what slow fashion is and through some of the research that I've been doing. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's jump into all of my mistakes. Mistake number one is one that I still can sometimes struggle with because thrifting is an awesome option to start engaging in slow fashion because you are continuing the life cycle of a product, you're reducing your environmental impact. It's wonderful. However, also it's inexpensive. Everything is wonderful about thrifting, but it's really easy to get kind of lost in all this awesomeness and go nuts at the thrift store and buy all the things. If you come home though with, 12 new garments that maybe you didn't actually need, and again, they don't end up being used as much or they weren't really purchased with intention, you might find that that was actually more of a wasteful shopping trip than a productive and stylish one that will add to your own personal style and wardrobe choices. To remedy this, in my opinion, you've heard me say this over and over again, I'm sure, is to shop with a list. If you are going into a thrift store or a vintage store with a set number of items or at least one piece that you know you're really looking for, then it'll really help you focus and not A, get overwhelmed with everything, or B, kind of start looking at all the beautiful things and just throwing them in your cart just to try them on, and then they end up looking fabulous, and then, you know, you end up with a whole bunch of clothes that you never wear. Being blinded by the eco-friendliness and sustainability of it all. This is essentially just shopping or buying a product because it's eco-friendly or sustainable and you feel like you're doing good for the planet. This is awesome. However, it's happened to me where I was looking for a pair of denim. This was well over a year ago, and I couldn't find a pair of ethically made denim or even secondhand denim that I really liked. And finally, I went to a vintage show and I tried on 2 pairs of vintage Levi's in that very old school 80s mom style. But the silhouette and the overall style of that denim really wasn't me. I bought 2 pairs. Not my finest hour. Although these pants were great because they were vintage and secondhand and they meant that their environmental impact was less, they didn't suit me or my personal style. My remedy to this is get to know your personal style. This isn't always easy, and yes, our styles evolve. If you have questions about this, I actually did a video. It's a little bit old now, but I will link it up here on how to find your personal style. This brings me to my next point, which is straying beyond your uniform or beyond your personal style. And while I do not advocate that we all like jump headfirst into a style rut and stay there forever and ever, I really do think there is something to be said for gaining an appreciation and a confidence with what works for you and your body type and your lifestyle. For me, there are 3 main criteria that I've kind of nailed down that I know I'll like. And as long as I have 2 out of those 3, it allows me to get out of my comfort zone a little bit, but still know that I'm gonna be wearing and loving this product forever. The 3 criteria that I use are color, so making sure it's a color palette that I either wear a lot, that I know looks good, or that I know I'm never gonna get sick of. Silhouette, making sure that the silhouette of the garment suits my body type and that it's one that I'm comfortable in and shows off what I wanna show off. And finally, fabric type and texture. So this is making sure that I'm choosing a fabric that I know won't make me sweat too much, or that I'm comfortable in, or I like the way it drapes and falls. As an example, if I want to move outside my comfort zone and get a shirt like in a bright red color that is really not what I would normally go for, if it's a shirt that is in a silhouette and a fabric that I like, I know I'm gonna be able to bring that shirt home and actually get some use out of it because I won't be intimidated by it every time I look at it in the closet and be like, what was I thinking? I am never gonna wear that. In addition to really honing in on what your uniform or your favorite outfit formulas are, a great remedy to this is rentals. I think they are the best way to figure out your new style if you want to really change or give yourself a little bit of a boost and a makeover, but you're not quite sure what direction you're going to go in. Rentals are an incredible option. Not doing enough research on brands that call themselves eco-friendly or sustainable or slow fashion is another really important one that, especially as I want to feature products here on the channel, I have become pretty nosy in terms of the questions that I ask brands, especially because sustainability is so hot right now. I think a lot of brands might be using this verbiage that we really want to hear, but they have to have the evidence to back it up. I think it's time to send them an email. And that would be, to me, the easiest and simplest way to remedy that. Whether you call out a brand on social media just to ask a friendly question, or whether you email them directly. I think it's so important that as consumers, we show that this is a priority. Not taking care of my clothes isn't a mistake that I've made in the past few years, but when I was younger, I didn't properly pay attention to fabrics and how to wash them and treat them properly, and this can result in clothing not lasting as long as it actually could. The remedy to this is simply check out the label before you make a purchase and ask yourself, will you actually take the time to care for this garment properly. I think that's the first step. And then of course, once you get home, there are so many good YouTube tutorials on how to hand wash and what to do if you have a special type of garment that you need to take extra good care of. I'm pretty sure I have a video about that, so I will link up here and maybe both in the description box as well. With minimalism taking off and Marie Kondo becoming a global superstar, decluttering and purging our closets has become something super popular, and this is great. I think it allows us to really get to know our closets and figure out where the gaps are and appreciate that less is indeed more. However, I've never done this, but I think this happens more often than not, is when you discover the awesomeness of decluttering and you go ahead and you purge it all only to find out that you might not even have any underwear left. It actually kind of defeats the purpose of slow fashion, which is for me one of the tenets: using and loving what you already have. A remedy to this might be simply making sure that you allocate enough time for a closet purge and not doing it when you're in a very emotional state. I think in order for us to make thoughtful and mindful decisions about our closet and what we're gonna wear, we have to take a step back and be pretty pragmatic about it. Slow fashion is assumed to be costly, a little bit exclusive, and that not everyone can participate. And I think this could not be further from the truth. Like, you would need a passport to get that far. That is how far it is. My slow fashion journey started when I quit my high-paying finance job to work retail and freelance. So I didn't have a lot of money, and we happened to move into a very small condo, so I didn't have any space either. I think a slow fashion mentality can apply to whoever, wherever they are, whatever their closet looks like, and whatever their shopping habits and budgets are. The biggest remedy to this, I think, is to A, start appreciating and shopping what's already in your closet. And of course, shopping secondhand and consignment, and I've already mentioned this one, but renting is a great way to really feel like you're getting new items without having to pay full retail price, or without having to wait and save up to invest in a piece that might be more costly. So that is what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video and learning from my mistakes. What are your biggest slow fashion learnings that you have, or have you had any wins in your journey on the way to a more conscious closet? I would love to know. I always think we get so much further with, positive reinforcement than just making everybody feel guilty. In the meantime, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will be back next week with another slow fashion video. Thank you so much for watching. Ciao! Oh, did I say have a great week? I hope you have a great week. Okay, ciao!